All right.
Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sopniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know this is not financial advice. I'm only here to entertain you and to remind you to only buy on the red candles. Tonight, in the court of the queen, we have two of the developers from a token called Pixel Token. We have Andrew and Hung in the house. Gentlemen, welcome to the court of the queen.
Nice,
My lady,
nice,
thank
to be,
you.
nice to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me. And just for full disclosure, so everybody knows, I am personally invested in Pixel. I was able to get into their pre-sale, so this is an investment for me. However, I am not being reimbursed at all for this AMA. This is completely free. We're just here to talk about the token. Okay, gentlemen, so will one of you please give us a basic breakdown of what Pixel is and why people should invest in it?
Yeah, Pixel is going to develop multi-chain applications, programs, and systems that's going to target multiple businesses from merch, restaurants, logistics, also NFTs and DeFi protocol. So it's going to tackle the whole entire network, and that's what our goal is to create platforms that are easy and accessible to all users from zero knowledge in crypto to full on crypto heads. So our goal is to target everybody. That's what Pixel's all about.
Yep. And my vision for Pixel very coincide with Andrew too as well. So hi everybody, my name is Hung. I'm one of the co-founder of Pixel too as well. And what Pixel is trying to do is doing pretty much the adoption where it is P2P, trading worldwide using the crypto blockchain technology that we have. So right now, you guys understand if you do any kind of financial trading worldwide, there's a middleman, there's a SWIFT international banks and everything like that between, and we are able to try to push that towards enabling individuals to kind of leverage their however we kind of try to identify what crypto is right now, security, commodity, and asset, all the stuff like that too as well.
Okay, so is this basically you're looking to work with businesses and have them accept cryptocurrency as payment?
Well, in a sense, where one aspect is our POS system. So our goal is to work with businesses and showcase how our POS system will allow them to generate a new avenue for revenue. Right now, most businesses accept just regular USD if we're talking in the US. There's not really a program out there that a lot of business owners really trust, really know, and understand to accept crypto. Crypto is still in a lot of business owners' eyes a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's not really regulated, so they don't understand. They don't want to touch it. They want to get near it. So our goal is to present them a tool like a POS system that would allow them to accept USD, but also accept cryptocurrency and function and act just like a normal POS system that they're used to, but it allows them to open that avenue to a new market pretty much in their business.
So the business that we're targeting are the business who's looking towards to expanding their current empire or their current business model too as well. Those are the ones that are very accepting towards what is crypto can help them towards too as well. But overall, if you look at the total aspect of how to adopt crypto, I'll say the best model to look is when business owners start accepting credit cards. When the credit card was first introduced, and then it changed from paper leather to ledgers until digital ledgers of this currency and everything that. So when we kind of put that aspect out there and kind of giving them the ability to hey, look, there's that aspect and there's this plus new aspect for your business too, and is there new purchasing powers that you have to capitalize on too as well. Is that something that you are looking to adopt on? And when we were able to get mostly the answers of yes, I look to expand towards that. That would give us a surefire in our back of our minds, like, okay, let's start this project, let's start developing and everything, and how can we do that as well? And we have people business owners. We have cases where they came up to us and asked, hey, I have someone ask me, do you accept Bitcoin or do you accept this? And I want to tell them yes. instead of telling them no, or no business owners want to kind of turn away from a profit that is coming to them into their business. So that's what we kind of sat down and kind of developed where we are today.
And Pixel has been a long time in the making. I remember getting into the pre-sale. I mean, it was a little bit ago that I bought into that pre-sale. And of course, I think you launched in early June, and I actually covered the launch live here on the channel. And the chart was just pulled up. I'll pull it up again. Considering how volatile the market is, I think your token price has held up pretty well. Like I expected to see, because when we invested in the pre-sale, the price of Ethereum was significantly higher. And when the launch started, I really thought we were going to see a lot of people just start dumping out and taking their profits out and running. But it seems like you had a few people take profits. But overall, considering how volatile the market is, I think it's held up really well. So I think the people that were invested in the pre-sale truly do see the long-term benefits of Pixel, which is great, which is really good. So let's go over the basics about your project, like your how many tokens do you have in circulating supply right now?
So currently, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 168 million. Last time I checked was a couple days ago. So I could be off by a little bit, but there hasn't been too many sales. So I think that's the right amount, because we launched at 150 million circulating supply when we launched.
Okay, and what are the tokenomics for your project?
So we have 0 buy tax and 0 sell tax. We wanted to have the ability for users to day trade. Eventually, that's the goal. Get our volume up. That would allow centralized exchanges also to pick us up, because they love volume. And without taxes, that allows users to day trade all day. They can play with the volatility and make money on Pixel on that as well.
Is that something that you plan on leaving like that, or is that something that you can change in the future?
No, our contract does not allow us to add any tax, so we cannot add any taxes in the future.
Okay, so I don't think I knew that. Okay. Obviously you had your contract audited?
Yes, that's correct. We had it audited by Solid Proof. It took about a week and a half. We went back and forth to make sure that the contract was achievable on their end, where they found it there's no bugs, no issues on their side. But we're also going to be looking to get audited by multiple companies down the line as well.
So without a buy and sell tax, how do you get money from the token in order to keep up with your operations and continue with the development of your project?
Yeah, that's a good question, because a lot of times with projects, they'll add a tax, and that will help with generating revenue for the company and allow them to bring up their staffing and pay their staff and pay whatever development that is needed. But if you look in that aspect, sometimes those taxes do hurt the token a lot more than helps. I mean, you do have those cases where different cryptocurrencies do thrive off taxes, but you're looking at thousands of tokens that launch daily. These taxes a lot of times hurt the project. So our goal is just like any other business. We're looking to get more funding down the line by VCs, private sellers, and angel investors, and we're looking to get those individuals to help with funding. And then our goal is to get our NFT marketplace out in the next 90 days. With the NFT marketplace, that would allow us to generate revenue for the company that would keep us afloat. And our team, our staff, they really understand our vision, and they're really on goal. That's why we're pushing this NFT marketplace. We got the DeFi protocol that will have more features down the line as well that will help generate revenue for the company as well.
So a quick overview of what Andrew gave, because it was a lot of information, and I don't want any miscommunication. We don't generate money with future fundings too as well. That's not how we're going to sustain the business. There's no way to sustain no business or grab other cash. Most of the time, when we look at other crypto companies that does sustain themselves, but through the cash flow that they get from the crypto tokenomics. In our end, we take it more of the traditional business model of creating, free and flow cash flow through our fees and our, incentive with other individuals. So through our different products that we are putting out, NFT marketplace, the POS system, the freelance marketplace, as well as our staking and farming. Those were cumulatively do continuously occurs different fees that will subsidize our pretty much initial cash fundings that we had, and eventually giving us the revenue that we need to keep pushing forward.
How close are you to this revenue? So have you landed any VCs?
Right now, we're in the works, but that's topics that we can't really discuss until we have more solidified information. So I mean, obviously, our team, Hung and Tangi, they're really focusing on that end as well. Because Hung is great with business development, so we're really tackling that aspect of the business right now as well.
And the most reason why businesses like ourselves reach out to venture capitalist firm or any pushing for different series of fundings is not just to sustain the project or the business itself. Because one thing, they're not going to invest into a project that's not sustaining itself in the very beginning too as well. So our pretty much target game plan right now is to put out product that can go ahead and subsidize some of that initial fundings we have and become a stream of revenue, and then start building upon that. Once we have those things, the biggest reason why we see value in capital ventureless firm is making sure that we can expand our business as well. When we go ahead and bring this firm on, we are building a partnership with them too. We're not saying, hey, let's partner up, give me your cash and I'll do me. It's more like, hey, let's partner up, give me your connections, your business models, your wide experience of how to expand our business even more, and then kind of expediting that process with us. Because the value that we have, as a company is being undervalued because of the certain situation we are in the market. Now, with venture capitalist firm, that market can be pushed out to a bigger market too. That's the reason why we're looking forward to, partnering up with other ventureless capital firm, not just so we can build, a revenue or a cash flow stream.
Do you have any partnerships right now?
Right now, we're currently working with Pulo. Pulo is helping us reach out to different VCs, and we also have a group called Bendy Capital that helps us with marketing and future funding as well.
So how are you with funds right now as far as, taking care of your overhead? Do you have enough funds there to continue on working until you do land some partnerships or get some angel investors?
Yeah, we sat down with the team. We honestly told them, this is what the market is, especially with the pre-sale. We didn't hit the goal that we initially wanted, so the goal was 1,500 ETH. That would allow us to sustain us for the next 3-5 years. But obviously we didn't hit that goal, so we sat down with the team and we said, hey, this is our plan moving forward. We developed a plan together, and everybody has the same vision, and we are going to be able to sustain ourselves until our NFT marketplace goes up, and we'll continue to sustain ourselves afterwards as well as we continue growing revenue through the marketplace.
Okay. So do you feel like it's going to take you, being that that was your goal, the 1,500 ETH, do you feel like it's going to take you about 3 to 5 years to get your business model up and running and actually start to generate some revenue?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, with the NFT marketplace coming out roughly around 90 days, our goal is to capitalize on that NFT market currently out there right now and capitalize at least 3-4% of the market. We did the numbers that would allow us to sustain our team in the ongoing future. So as long as we're able to pay our team, keep our team, and have our great foundation, we can continue moving forward.
Okay. We do have our first question in the chat here. And just to say, I haven't confirmed any of these questions. These are people just randomly asking questions, and I can't confirm whether or not this is actually true. But somebody here says JK, which could mean, just kidding, I don't know who this is. Why does Token Sniffer say Pixul is a honeypot? ? And once again, I've never put the token address into Token Sniffer, so I can't confirm that it says that. Would you guys know about that?
I have not personally checked on Token Sniffer, but obviously we have buys and sells. People had no issue with selling the token, so I mean, I don't see how it can be a honeypot.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now. So as far as you spoke earlier about, bringing people into cryptocurrency businesses, have you dealt with any brick and mortar stores where you could put your POS system in there and have that come to fruition? Like how long down the road is that going to happen? And how does that equal benefits to your holders? Like how would that generate your token price to go up?
Yeah, of course. Hung could definitely talk about our partnership, which is called Pixul Test Kitchen.
Yes. So I was that you didn't finish your sentence. So the good topic about that of how are we gonna put the business is our product into business and everything like that. So brief history: me and Andrew have a small business here in Orlando, Florida, where we reach out to a small mom and pop shop like brick and mortar shop, and then giving them the opportunity to transition online. How do we do that? It takes a lot of consultation, trust, and ability to kind of back up our analytics too as well. So when we're able to see that we're successful for helping them transition online, we took that kind of aspect and helped these individuals to transition onto crypto. So now we have pretty much a plethora of business owners that continuously run their operations today. So when we have this Pixel Test Kitchen partnership, we're able to provide them with our POS system into their store to go ahead and receive live data back to the business owners and the end users of how the experience is with Pixel. And with that being live data, we're able to go ahead and optimize a certain aspect of the POS system, or even with the marketplace too as well. How we are able to optimize some of the marketplace of freelancers. This Andrew have a history of being a freelancing artist, and my family have a history of being contractors. Able to connect to the business owners and individuals who's providing these freelancing, able to give us that pretty much key edge over the transactions is happening. So when we're able to kind of see those data and optimize that way, we are able to put a lot more value back to the company that way as well. And the tokenomics, we looked at certain different aspect of how to push towards that, and Andrew can speak more about that.
Yeah, so 20% of our revenue will go back to all of our stakers. So anybody that's staking on our protocol will receive 20% of all the revenue through our platform. So that's coming from our DeFi protocol, NFT marketplace, freelance marketplace, and our POS system. So all the like I said, the revenue that's generated through those different platforms will go back to the stakers, kind of like dividends as a stakeholder. So not only you'll receive Pixel tokens as a staker, but you'll also get 20% of revenue throughout the platforms.
And what about people that aren't staking? What about people that just hold the token?
Yeah, so we actually are looking at different ways that we can incorporate Pixel and give different benefits, which we're definitely going to be covering when we talk about the NFT marketplace. There are benefits as a holder with the Pixel token that will give you different benefits throughout the marketplace. And like we always mention, we're always looking at different ways we can implement Pixel into the ecosystem and giving benefits back.
Okay. Now, one thing I did want to do, I wanted to share the screen. And the reason this is called AMA is because people get to, step up and should be able to ask any question. And indeed, your token on Token Sniffer, like I always say on the channel, Token Sniffer is not always 100% accurate.
Of course.
But it's showing as a honeypot on Token Sniffer. So you might want to investigate that, because a lot of people do use Token Sniffer to check something out before they actually purchase it. So it might behoove you to sort of get to the bottom of what is going on with this, because if somebody pulled it up, you're ranking a 0 out of 100. And one of the things that I use Token Sniffer for is just to confirm that something is not a honeypot, but your rating is a honeypot. So that I would definitely find out whoever is running Token Sniffer and find out what happened, or contact the people that did the audit of your contract and say, what would flag this?
Of course.
A honeypot. I wonder if it's because you have 0% buy and sell tax. I wonder if that's like unheard of, and they're like, oh, must be too good to be true, honeypot.
It showcased that our liquidity pool is not found either. I don't know. We're gonna have to get in contact with Token Sniffer and see what's going on. I wonder if because it's saying liquidity pool was not found, making it impossible to trade the token. I think there's got to be something going on with this. So I will definitely contact them and get that fixed, because, like you said, I've heard of Token Sniffer. I know it's a big platform. So when users go on to Token Sniffer and they see this information, it's not a good look. So we're definitely
it's not. It's not a good look. And I'm glad. Thank you, JK, for bringing that up, bringing that to our attention. This way they can, get on it, get it fixed, because it scares people away. They see honeypot on Token Sniffer. They're like, oh, no, it's a honeypot, because that's the one thing I use Token Sniffer
Yeah.
for. Now I have to think
Yeah,
twice.
and it made sense. It made sense. You know, like you always people
we just recently launched. Yeah, we just recently launched beginning of this month, so it hasn't been that long. And I like, understanding how big the crypto market is. It probably takes some time for them to update their system too, since there's so many different projects. And it could be that since we have Pixel been talking about it for since last year October. It could be old data that since we haven't launched and haven't put anything out, and people are pretty much buying to our pool. So that could be one possible explanation too as well.
Yeah, it really showcased that there's no liquidity pool. So I don't know. We'll have to provide that information for them so they can get that fixed.
Yeah. So you do have your liquidity locked. Can you talk to the watchers about that? Where is it locked and how long is it locked and how much?
It's locked in Team Finance and it's locked for 6 months.
And what happens when that lock comes up and how much? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no problem. We started at 50 ETH. We locked, 63 ETH was the total amount. Possibly because it's on Uni 3. That's a possibility as well too, because it's launched on the Uniswap V3. So we're definitely looking at with Token Sniffer. But yeah, we launched originally at 63 ETH on Liquidity Pool. We locked it for 6 months, and we're looking to just continue to lock it. The only reason why we didn't lock it any longer is because, we may move on to a different platform off of Uniswap. We may move our liquidity and token to a different swap to give us that option. But regardless, everything is run on our multi-sig wallet, so everything is controlled by multiple owners. So we don't have one owner that controls the whole system. So what the multi-sig wallet would allows different owners pretty much accepting the transaction in order for us to make transactions with the contract, with the funding, and the tokens as well.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your team. So I've looked on your website and it appears that you've got a nice big team working for you. Can you talk to us about how many people you have on the team and what their positions are and where everybody works? Or does everybody work together or are you remote? Let us know.
So we all know Hung and I, we both live in Florida. So him and I, we bounce with each other if it's going into his city, my city, because currently we reside in 2 different cities in Florida. So we work together. Vespas and Tangi and James, they work together in the aspect of the marketing and the development. We have Favor, Rudra, they're also under development as well when it comes to the front end. We have John and Franklin, they work on the back end with the back end of all the projects and also with the blockchain technology. And then we have Terry Rio, which is the outreach liaison. He goes out there and outreaches and gets people to know about Pixul. So when they currently break down the branch of the team, Hung really oversees the business development of the project when it comes to funding and how we can reach out to different companies and build partnerships. And then I focus more on the development side of things. So I'm working closely with all the developers and making sure that we're pushing our products on the timeline that we have put out there in the public.
And of course, I see Tangi's picture here. Tangi, a friend of the channel, probably the reason that you're on the channel, Tangi. Okay, so everything that you're doing right now, how many of these people, are any of these people the ones that actually wrote up your smart contract? Was that Vespas?
Yeah, Vespas and I actually built the contract together.
Oh, okay. All right. So are you coding your platforms as well?
Yeah, I help out with the front end, and Vespas helps out with the blockchain side of the project. But we coincide with each other, so we definitely have to manage and get our team together so we can build and develop in different milestones.
So do you just sit at your desk all day and sit there and code away and try to make things like what do you do throughout the day?
Well, just like any individual, I do have my day job. So
is anybody full-time on the team?
I consider myself full-time. Everybody pretty much, honestly, like I would say everyone's full-time because we are constantly working on this all day. I mean, I'm literally up from 4 a.m. to probably 11 p.m. at night, and it's work, get home, take care of my kid as much as I can, and then work on Pixel. But I'm constantly working on Pixel throughout the day. I got my laptop with me all the time. So,
How about you, Hung? Do you have a day job that you go to as well?
Yes, I would mostly say most of our team members also have day jobs and consistently, going to school and everything. But when we bring in an individual to the team and everything, we have like the interview phase, and we kind of set the expectation as well as seeing what is their motivation to join the team too as well. And we can kind of find the individual who have the same vision as us and see can have the same drive. That's when we kind of bring the people on and then making sure that we can still continue the project. So yeah, most of us still have our day to day and everything, but at the end of the day, this is the dream that everybody look for to making your own company and own business. So I take ownership of it, and my team member all take ownership of with Pixel. So that's a very prideful for me to say.
Yeah, the way we
Okay.
build our structure is we build milestones. So we say, hey, we got to get this done in the next, like, we got a week span to get all these different milestones completed. So we always make sure that we hit our milestones. So like we mentioned, 90 days for the NFT marketplace, we can reach that goal. If it's sooner, that would be even better. But that's definitely how we build our structure, is by milestones within the team.
Is there anybody that's getting paid? Like, are you guys taking any sort of salary or compensation from the project yet? Or are you just kind of waiting for everything to sort of take off?
Um, Compensation, nobody's having this. There's no salary, so there's no salary given out. There is compensation points where, like, if we reach certain goals, yes, people do get a little compensation, but we also have to keep in mind that our funding will have to be mainly focused on development and marketing. We can have a product, but if we're not pushing out the product, then nobody's going to know about the marketplace or any product that we develop.
Right. So we do have another question. And it is there any plan to relock the liquidity for a longer period of time other than 6 months?
Yeah, that's correct. Like I mentioned, with the 6 months, it gives us the option if we want to move out of Uniswap. I know Uniswap can tend to be high on fees, and if we decide to develop our own swap that will be audited, of course, before it gets pushed out publicly, that can also be an option as well. We wanted to keep ourselves in the option, but we're always transparent about what we do. We have a page called Documents on our website that showcases every transaction we have done, from our airdrops to our locking period, our locking transaction, to all different transactions we have done for the Pixel token itself. So, like I said, like with the lock period, it's definitely we can lock it for another year, another 2 years, but we wanted to see at 6 months where we at, and possibly maybe move Pixel token to a different swap.
Is there any chance that you might be launching over on Binance Smart Chain? There's so many people that are launching on Binance now or becoming a dual chain project just because everything is so less expensive over on BSC. Is there any prospect of that happening for Pixel?
So what we looked at, because we know Binance is very cheap on fees, and you have other chains as well that are available that we can launch on, or have like you mentioned, a different chain for Pixel. We're thinking about, because our DeFi protocol is going to have a bridge, and we're possibly thinking about bridging over to a different chain. So if a user wants to trade Pixel, it's going to pretty much mimic the same price and have the liquidity on that side as well. It could be Binance, it could be Polygon, it could be a different chain, obviously with less fees, because we know Ethereum can get really high on fees, especially when gas tends to get on the higher side on certain peaks.
Okay. So I think we answered that question. Then there was another question, but I think it was something that we had already discussed in the very beginning as far as exactly what your project is. So that's in the very beginning. If you want to go back and rewatch that, because they've already touched on that. I know you wanted to share a few things with the people that are watching. So if you wouldn't mind, if you have that prepared, that
Yeah.
would be very interesting. So do you want to discuss what it is you're about to show?
Okay, so yes, we wanted to showcase our staking modules on our Pixel protocol. We wanted to showcase how it works. We wanted to do it live in person staking under the Rinkby network before we go live on the mainnet. And then afterwards, we wanted to showcase a slideshow of our marketplace, giving a preview of the design and also features and benefits for Pixel holders as well. So you want me to go ahead and start that right now?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. This way we can have a little peek at it and you can explain it to everybody.
Okay, sounds good.
And just give us basic timelines as to when it is you think all of that is going to be up and functioning.
All right, so is my screen up?
Yep.
All right. So let me know if you...
Let me do this. Hold on a second. Can you share it?
Yeah, I'm on here now.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see it.
If it's working,
we don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it?
No, I added it to the stream.
Let's see.
There, you got it?
No, it's on the. Let me see. Let me reset it real quick. So share screen. Okay, let me see if this works. I'm gonna share the tab. Let me know if you're seeing on your end.
Let me do this later. I'm gonna hit this again.
Oh, there you go. I think that's it. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, this is our Pixel protocol. It's gonna have different aspects from staking, farming, our X-Pixel governance token, the DEX. It's gonna have more features down the line as well. So let's go ahead and go to X-Pixel, and we're gonna go ahead and connect the wallet, MetaMask. Let's see. Sorry, it locked me out. All right, let's get this connected.
And this is an example of what the users are going to see when they bounce onto your NFT marketplace?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
For some reason, it's not letting me connect.
So while we're waiting on that, who is making your NFTs? How many do you plan on having? When do you think they're going to launch? And what are they going to look like? Do you have like a funky little character?
Oh, yeah, so we're looking to launch an NFT collection when we launch our NFT marketplace. We don't have any previews regarding the NFT itself, but we're definitely what we're showcasing today is the marketplace, the NFT marketplace.
Okay.
So pretty much what a user would do is they will come onto our staking module, and they'll have different aspects where they can learn their balance, their X-Pixel balance, their total migrated and total locked for X-Pixel. So what they have to do is migrate their pixel to X-Pixel. Once it's migrated, they will go ahead and stake X-Pixel and receive their APY depending on what lock that they choose from. So they can choose from no lock to 4 years. And then each one has a different APY. Once you lock it, it will showcase you that APY. So I don't know why it's not letting me connect onto when I'm streaming for some reason. It's not, my MetaMask is not connecting.
So Andrew, let me ask you, how long is it going to be for people that are holders for them to begin staking?
So we also wanted to announce that our staking will be live on July 1st on next Friday. So we're going live on the mainnet to allow users to stake Pixel onto our platform.
Oh, that's awesome. So what do you know what kind of APY you're going to be offering? And are there certain time frames? Like, do you have a 30, 60, 90-day lock?
Yeah, so if you look down here to stake your Pixel, you have different locks, and different locks will have a different APY. You can have up to, with 4 years, is up to about 25%. We wanted to have a sustainable number because, if you look at different protocols that offer a huge amount of
Celsius
numbers, they tend to crash eventually. I mean, it may not crash right away, but one day it will come back and they will crash the token. I mean, we've seen it plenty of times, even with smaller projects. So our average for the year is around 8 to 9%. It's still a little bit more attractive than the traditional banking system, but it's also sustainable within our ecosystem as well. So we wanted to make sure that we understood that aspect because, yeah, we can offer 20, 30%, but then a couple years later go down the road and we end up crashing the system. So that's also something that not in our vision down the line. So I also wanted to showcase a little bit of our NFT marketplace. You want me to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, let's see that. Let's check that out.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this real quick because I got to go ahead and share the next window.
So while you're bringing that up, what was the minimum someone would be able to stake their tokens, and what was the yield on that?
What's the minimum on the time lock? Is that what
staking,
you're asking? Yeah. So the minimum as a time lock, you can choose no lock, so there's no locking period, or you can choose a 1 week lock, which is about 0.17%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
So let's go ahead and I'm going to share this. Let me know if you're able to see it.
I am, and I just hit share.
All right. So
that looks pretty.
We wanted to introduce Element. Our last Friday on our Pixel Friday, we announced Element, which is our NFT marketplace, which is called Element by Pixel. So it's a multi-chain NFT marketplace, which will have different chains integrated onto it. So let's move down to the next slide. So Element is basically a multi-chain NFT marketplace created by Pixel, a marketplace where artists and creators can mint, sell, and auction their NFTs worldwide on different chains. The chains that we are implementing is Ethereum, Binance Coin, Phantom, and Chronos. So this is kind of like a small little preview of what the homepage will look like. We'll have different trending NFT projects or a certain NFT that's trending onto the homepage as well. So we'll go ahead into the next slide, and our features will be obviously multi-blockchain compatibilities. You can mint, trade, sell, transfer, and auction your NFTs. We'll have verified collections and users. You'll have your own personal profile page. You'll have collection pages. You'll have a chat system to communicate with other users, multiple wallet compatibilities. And our biggest thing is education. You know, like we mentioned before, is how do we bring in people that don't really understand NFTs or cryptocurrency in general? So education is our biggest aspect on all our platforms. So we're going to have tons of different educational pieces and different tutorials when you join, so it can teach you and showcase you how you can actually use our platform right off the bat. And then we'll have different social media integrations, functions, and more will be down the line.
So is this like an OpenSea, but it's Element?
That's correct. We're expanding from OpenSea, Rarible. There's different platforms as well. We're expanding on it so we can use it also like a social media aspect as well, and allow different users to install on different chains. You know, there's a lot of platforms out there, but sometimes they limit themselves to different, maybe like 2 or 3 chains. Our goal is to allow users to trade onto multiple chains. You know, we're launching on 4 chains right off the bat. Then our goal is to get in Solana and different chains down the line as well. So it gives the users one place, one platform that they can trade on different blockchains, all having to go into another marketplace.
So when this starts generating revenue, how is that going to benefit the holders of Pixel?
Okay, so on the next slide, we'll talk about the fees, or how the fees are broken down within the marketplace. So there's no fees to mint or create an NFT, but there is going to be a 2.3% fee on all sales that happen within the marketplace. The average right now in the space is about 2.5, 2.6% on transactions. So, you know, we're somewhat cheaper than that, but we're going to have different benefits as a Pixel holder, and that will be on the next slide. So 20% of the revenue goes back to stakers on the Pixel protocol. 30% will be provided to the liquidity of the Pixel token. So that would allow us to generate more liquidity to the Pixel token, allow it to have more stabilized down the line as well. And then 50% goes to the Pixel treasury, which will be into the multi-signature wallet. So that's one aspect of how it can help provide for the Pixel token by providing liquidity and allowing it to stabilize the token as well as we generate revenue. Then, as Pixel holders, there's different benefits that we're going to be integrating down the line. But the first benefit that we're going to have on the marketplace is allowing a user to have cheaper fees on their NFTs. So the one thing as a creator, let's say you put out a full NFT collection, you know, like on OpenSea and Rarible, you get 2.5, and we'll have a 2.3 uh, a transaction fee. But as a Pixel holder, as you hold a certain value of Pixel tokens, it allows you to get cheaper fees. So as you see the breakdown, $100 you get 2.1. So you already get 0.2% removed off the fee if you're holding $100 worth of Pixel tokens. And as you can see, it gradually goes up from 500,000, 2,000, 5,000, and then 20,000 above. So if you have $20,000 worth of Pixel tokens into your wallet, you only get 0.05%. So that would definitely benefit a lot of projects that are looking to see, you know, how can I get more revenue from my NFTs instead of being not taxed, but having those transaction fees at 2.5%. You know, if they're investing into Pixel, that allows them to get a cheaper fee onto all their NFT collections.
Okay. And when do you think all of this is going to be functional?
That's going to be functional at the launch of the marketplace. So this is currently our actual development timeline. So the back end has been completed, and the front end is currently in development. So right now we're knocking out all the front end and making sure everything's working correctly. After that, we're going to be on our phase 1 testing. We're going to go ahead and test within the team, make sure everything's working properly, and then we're going to start integrating all the different chains because we're going to launch on our phase test on Binance Network. The reason why we chose Binance Network because it is cheaper on fees, so it allows our team to go ahead and transact mint NFTs and test everything without having to get hit with all those Ethereum fees. After that, we're going to start integrating all the remaining chains that we have, which will be Ethereum, Phantom, and Chronos. Then we'll go ahead into phase 2 testing, which will be a little bit more intricate, especially having all those different chains integrated. We're going to start testing everything, then get audited. Once the audit is completed, we'll go ahead and launch the marketplace.
Guesstimation, or you're not even going to do that? Not like 2 months, 3 months, or?
So our goal is about 90 days. So our goal, I mean, if we can get it out sooner than that, that's also a huge milestone. But yes, we set a goal of 90 days for our marketplace. And that was 90 days from the launch of our token.
Which was already at the beginning of the month. That was like 20 days ago, right? Okay, so hey, we're like 20 days in, so we have like 70 days to go. So a little over 2 months. So I've been just watching the chat, and people seem very concerned about the locking of the liquidity. So when it comes time to when your liquidity locker is about to be up, when will you notify the community that you're either going to relock it back in the same place, or if you're going to be moving the liquidity to another destination? How far in advance will you let the community know? Because, you know, when liquidity unlocks, people start to get a little nervous.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we understand that, you know, liquidity, it's, you know, once it unlocks, I mean, that gives the chance of any team just pulling out all the funds. We're looking at probably like a month, maybe 3 weeks before it unlocks to kind of give a huge update on how we're going to proceed with the locking. And then from there, we'll just go ahead, whatever we announce, we'll make that move. If it's relocking, we'll just relock it. If it's not relocking, we'll definitely walk everybody through on how we're going to be moving our token to a different swap. So like I said, a month, maybe 3 weeks before it unlocks, so we can all come together as a community and understand what's the next step afterwards.
Right, that's great. And then somebody asked, was concerned about, it's concerning that you know, nobody works for free. So how are you gentlemen being compensated by the project, or are you just working off whatever funds that you raised in the pre-sale. And if you do have a portion of funds left over, like a little pool that you work with.
Yeah. So like we mentioned before, we've had a multiple team meetings and everybody's on board understanding that once we start pushing these products, everybody will start, earning their salary through the revenue of all these products. Everyone understands and believes in the vision of Pixul. So
let me just stop you right there, Andrew. So right now they're not being compensated by the project, correct? Let's just make it real simple for them, because I think that they missed that in the beginning. It just wasn't sticking out for them, because I'm pretty sure they were here, but maybe not. Okay, so, and I just want to point out, this is their chart right now. Keep in mind how volatile the market is right now. They launched on June the 3rd, and there was a lot of people into the pre-sale. Really not that many people took profits that were involved in the pre-sale, and the pre-sale lasted. How long did that pre-sale go on? I mean, it was the longest pre-sale I was ever in.
Yeah, we took tons of time on that pre-sale. I mean, I think it lasted almost a month, if I'm not mistaken. If we look at the entire,
I think it was longer than that. It was way longer than a month, right? Or maybe not the public pre-sale, but I think the one that I got into, it seems like it was forever ago.
Oh, the whitelist pre-sale, yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was definitely maybe a month and a half, maybe even 2 months. It definitely was a long process. We just wanted to make sure that we covered all of our grounds. Our team works together, and we're making sure that we covered everything. And like you mentioned, like, how do people work for free? I mean, everybody. That was the biggest concern. How do we keep the team together? We build a great foundation coming from 2021 October. We've been building this foundation ever since. So everybody that's been on the team totally believes in what we're building together. So once we start pushing out these products, that's when we'll start worrying about the salaries down the line.
And just so people understand, I understand that the screen might be hard to see. The writing is very small. Their total market cap as of right now is $2.59 million, and the liquidity is 594,000 locked up. So it's not some little project, a teeny tiny project. Like there's a good amount of bank here, and that's one of the reasons why the chart looks very stable. Even if people do start putting a lot of sells through, I think the floor is there that it's not going to affect the price that much. So I think all of that looks really good. And so now, Hung, what are you doing there? What's your outreach to everybody, to the community? What are you, the person that goes out and tries to talk to the people that own brick and mortar stores about getting Pixul in there, getting involved?
That is yes. The basic answer is yes. It's just developing that aspect of how we gonna take ourselves into the market. The biggest thing is kind of like we said, foundation. Getting the initial talk to these business owners, giving them the opportunity. Hey, if I'm able to do this for you, are you able to kind of bring my product into your business? Just getting a synopsis of what it's gonna look like if we are ready to put out. We don't want to go like, hey, I have a product, it's amazing, here, take it, go ahead and run with it, and the answer is going to be no, it's going to close door. So for us to develop that and kind of building that data of, okay, I mean, talk about data again, I'm one of the big data guy. 75 to 79% of business owners looking right now is saying, yes, I want to have crypto ability. 65 to 69% is putting, yes, I want to put my own money into developing it. Putting my own money to develop so I can have crypto abilities at my location. That's a quarter, 2/4 of the whole market. I mean, that's a big resounding yes for us to go do something like that. And when we have that able to, the initial step to just step in the door, like, hey, we're here, that will build a lot of reputation and level of, ability for us to just go ahead and put this product out. So that will be my pretty much day-to-day job. And then in the back end, like Andrew mentioned, this is kind of overseeing everything and pretty much pushing the vision of Pixul out there. The biggest one that we're doing is making sure that we can attack businesses so they can see our product being in their store, and at the same time, how can we expand? The biggest thing right now is, when the project is launched, the next step in your mind is how can I take this project into the next level? A lot of people just keep pushing the same thing. They're like, oh, let's lower the tax, for today, and kind of put sales pressure or something like that. But those are minuscule level compared to what able small business owners to kind of expand more. And we've seen that, with our pretty much small business here in Orlando. We've seen the ability to transition onto something else online will be one of the big things to expand your business. And secondly, hiring phases, or even expansion of manufacturing, or any. I mean, that's a long list of stuff that we are, as a small company, does not have access to. And that's what's the biggest thing, is that when it's time to go, when we're able to expand, I will give a good green light and say, yes, we're able, this help that we receive.
And when you have projects like this, I think it's just going to help, the country in the overall adoption of cryptocurrency itself, right? A lot of times people walk into stores, maybe they're, I'm sure everybody's probably heard of Bitcoin, but it's not somewhere in their face where they're like, oh, this place takes cryptocurrency. Let me look into it. Let me find out about it. I think even just having POS systems around where people can see it, because the last thing I like to do is, I hate handing my debit card over or handing my credit card over whenever you're doing a sale at the store, because you just don't know, you can't trust who's taking it, right? I think it is going to make banking, not that crypto is, I mean, it's digital cash, basically peer-to-peer, business to business, person to business cash, digital cash. It's safer. So I would much rather use my phone and pay with crypto than hand somebody a bank card. It just seems safer to me. And no matter how you feel about crypto, it's the future. It's the future. Like you said, how, people just started to take credit cards in the 70s, like not too long ago. This is the future. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
No, you're just resounding. I just want to resound back. Like, how many times I go to a restaurant or go to some place, I have to pull my wallet out and then kind of give my card. And sometimes even drive through, they forget to give my card back, or I walk away and like, oh crap, my card, and that. You don't know that time frame what they're gonna do with it. You have to check your bank statement and everything that. But like you mentioned too, it's contactless is the way to go. The pandemic really pushed for that, to do the adoption of contactless and very much peer-to-peer, and that adoption. And this is what we saw too as well. And we want to go ahead and make sure that we can be a part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's very exciting. So this is one of the main reasons that I invested into Pixul, because I'm thinking long term. Like I always tell the audience, I'm a little older. I have to be more conservative as far as what I'm considering my long-term investments, projects like Terrarium, projects like yours, that I understand it might be a mountain to climb, but once you hit the mountaintop, like you just jump on this sled and cruise, on the way down. It's just going to be a nice cruise for us, a fun ride down. And that's how I look at projects like this. I understand it may not be, green candles from the moment that it launches. They're, especially in this market, it's a very volatile market. The economy, I think, is only going to get worse. So you have to pick those projects that you share their vision, like you understand what that project's going to be and what it's going to be in the future and the potential of that project. So that's one of the big reasons why I invested into Pixul myself, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you gentlemen on the channel, because we did cover your launch live on the channel, and everybody was saying, well, what is it? What is Pixul? And I was like, I'm going to try to get the devs on the channel for an AMA. This way, if people have questions, you guys can hit them up with the questions. So let me go through the chat and see if anybody else has any more questions. But as far as the potential of your project, I think it's crypto is definitely the future. It just definitely is. Like hardly anybody, it, like I said before, it's the difference between somebody, like, remember people used to stand at counters and write checks?
Yep.
Who's writing a check anymore?
My father still does it. He'll bring out
He's still rocking a checkbook? Wow.
I mean, Costco still accepts it. He's like, let me pull out my checkbook. I'm like, man, are you gonna dust that off? Let's just you don't really see that too often.
So I mean, you can always look back to, as well as the one that everybody, I mean, sorry, some stuff they say is like the tulip. People compare it to the tulip in the like 1600s, or they can compare it to the internet.com boom. The tulip boom back in the then they say, oh, it's just hype and everything, and only the valuation comes from there. But then you look at the .com boom, there was a .com bubble burst, and then that was what really pushed companies like Amazon, eBay to come and bribes to be what they are today. In the very beginning, people were just making .com of this and that and just putting stuff out there just for whatever it is, and then they'll sell it as an IPO just from the .com, and that will get traded that way too as well. But when the .com crashed, those companies that didn't really do anything with their company that they found, fortune kind of died out, and then it gets to the point where Amazon and eBay were able to kind of thrive through that price crack and push towards when they have the business models and everything. And that's why I feel like it's happening right now with the crypto winter. It kind of pushes some of those bad apples, some people would say, out there that does nothing for their community, that just kind of just thrive off of this inflation of cash flow compared to other companies that are trying to put utility back into the users' hand as well. So that's why I lean towards more the .com than the tulip bubble.
Yeah, the goal is, like you mentioned, go into a restaurant, go into a merch business, and be able to transact with your crypto just as easy you can transact with a debit card. And allowing these business owners to understand why crypto is a safe route, another avenue for revenue for them as well. They can definitely, once we would be able to provide that to them, they'll definitely accept it. Hung and I, we built a company in Orlando called Pixul. Pretty much is a web service company where we provide SEO, web design, social media aspects, and different things that we can do for businesses in Florida. So we learned a lot working with small businesses in Orlando and learning how they operate and why they chose not to use a website. When we first started Pixul, we went into these mom and pop shops and they go, well, why do I need a website? My business has been running for the last 20 years. I didn't need a website then. And then once they realize why it's important to have their website up and exposure on Google search and especially on different platforms like Facebook and Instagram, once they caught on to that and they saw that after we partnered with them, they realized, well, wow, I didn't know I needed that much exposure. You're competing, especially in Orlando, you're competing with thousands of different small businesses. So the best way to get your name out there is through a website, social media, and different marketing tactics online. So just like with crypto now, they don't see why it's important for their business. Until we can provide those tools to them, then they'll understand why it's important to implement crypto into their business.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I really do. So I think the potential for your project is going to be very big. Like I said, I think the adoption of cryptocurrency is going to be inevitable. So when we talk about your actual, would you call it an interface? Is it going to be an app? What's it going to look like? Or is it just something that is going to be something that sits at the business, like a hardware type? I'm trying to imagine how it's going to look like when you go up to make your purchase. Is it a software that they're just going to be using on their computer there at the business?
So there's going to be different aspects to it. Like, just like with Clover Square, you have Clover Square, Toast. Those are different products for POS systems. And what they can do is we can offer them different aspects. We can offer them like an API where they can implement it into their software. So let's say they're using Clover, they don't want to move away from Clover, but they want to add an aspect of cryptocurrency into their system. We can allow that to add onto their platform, or they can switch over from their platform and use our POS system, which will be a product that will be onto the store itself. So there's two different aspects that we're running with.
So let me add more. It's actually it's more than just two different aspects of that too as well. Yeah, so when you think of how to purchase something, right? There's different ways you can do it. The transaction, you can do it. The main phrase is with a cash transaction, or through a interface with your transaction, or peer-to-peer with like Venmo, Cash App, and all those stuff too as well. What we're providing to these individual business owners is the ability to expand and contract based on the business level. If you were to go ahead and start your own business right now, and you sign up with Square, Clover, Toast, Everland, or anything or Shopify, they will give you a tier system where you need this, and this, and this, and all this as well, and slap you with a big bill. Now, if you ever want to downgrade, they'll make it a little harder for you to downgrade too as well, because now you have the hardware and everything and how you expect. And certain times when as new business owners, they need to allocate some of those funding somewhere else. So when we saw that, we were able to go ahead, give them a plug and play kind of aspect where you can choose this, you can choose that, and build a customized kind of interaction of how you want to transact at your business store. So maybe the hardware, maybe the IPO, I mean the IP, or maybe even just the app too as well. So when all those kind of situations are available for the end user to use to transact however they would like to, that gives them the ability to capture more too as well. The worst thing you want to do is for business owners to open your door and someone wants to pay you, but you have to tell them no because you don't have the necessary tool to accept the payment.
Yeah, exactly. And like Hung mentioned, there's going to be different aspects to the POS system. How you can transact with the user. We're going to have a DeFi aspect to it, a centralized aspect to it. So it gives the opportunity for users to use different tokens as well on our platform.
Okay, that seems very exciting. So when are you thinking we would be able to take a peek at the beta version of it? Or is that something you're going to release or not at all because it's considered intellectual property that might be leaked out?
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't really thought how we're going to tackle that. We want to show different aspects and different previews of the POS system. But like you mentioned, it being an IP, we have to be careful what is released out in the public. So definitely we will, as we hit different milestones, we will be showcasing the product itself down the line.
So the way we set up the milestone is able to build pretty much the back end of the POS system. We mentioned there's a lot of different components moving around in the POS system, a lot of plug and play. Once we start building this small milestone, the package will be available at the very end. So eventually you see different milestones of right now we have the marketplace, and next thing you know we have a different marketplace, not marketplace, I mean calendar sites, or even the ability to do small different kind of tools that business owners will use, talking to them like, hey, this is what I actually need today. And when we're able to build those kind of products and put it out into different milestones, those can eventually give us back more revenue too as well. And when we can all package it into the POS system marketplace, where you can pick and choose where you want into your POS system, that will be the end product that we can provide to our customer.
Very exciting. Like I say, I think and somebody mentioned it too, the potential for this is going to be very big. Somebody else had also left a comment, and we'll just ask it because they asked it, and this is, after all, an AMA. In regards to the potential of getting a SAFU audit. Now, I know your SAFE contract has been audited, but SAFU does this audit thing where they look at, you basically get a certificate saying that they checked out your entire project, they checked UGents out, and you check out. Now, being that you got a bad score there on Token Sniffer, it might help you to do that, because they really do go through everything on a granular level to make sure everything is on the up and up. I think it might help people consider you a safe investment, although like I said, not financial advice, but I'm invested in you. And would you consider getting on any of these smaller swaps like SafeFu swap or like Dojo swap or something that's not going to, be a ton of money to get on, like Bitmart or DigiFinex or those other exchanges?
Of course, yeah. We've actually made tons of connections with those platforms. I actually have the phone number of the owner of SafeFu Swap. We've talked on the phone several times. If he's out there, I know I haven't responded to your text for a while. We've just been slammed. But yeah, that's something that we've definitely been looking into as well. We've definitely been talking about getting audited from them as well. It's just I'll be honest, the last 3-4 weeks have been nonstop for us. So I'm gonna probably put myself on hold for the next 2 weeks and really get onto those platforms. I know Tangi, she's reaching out, so we're definitely putting ourselves in front of those different projects and products as well.
We do have another question from Starcraft, I think. I'm not good with reading the letters and numbers together. I like the vanity license plates. I never could figure them out. What type of business will be able to use the POS system from Pixul? Also, can you partner with larger companies like Amazon or Walmart as well?
So the POS system, the first thing that people think about when the POS system is going to a restaurant or somewhere that they see the module there, the hardware, and then they purchase something, maybe a burger or something like that. But some of the bigger companies that we are tackling technically online too as well will be Amazon and Walmart, because when you shop online and you do a shop cart or exit, I mean Amazon is a great case scenario to do. They really revitalize how you do online shopping with the buy now too as well. So to partner with them, that's it. That's anything. But that's one of the bigger steps. But other stuff that we can tackle, it's like the shopping store like Forever 21. They usually just switch their store to bolts and everything. That's switching their payment system. Retail is another big aspect that we are tackling too as well. So this small business chain, Chipotle, one of the biggest business chains, they have their POS system. We're very partnered with them. Those will be the goals, definitely. But yeah, there's a different aspect of how you transact in store, online, or from peer to peer. So we're all able to put our footprints on stuff. So definitely, that's a pat on my back, or that's the heavy shoulder I'm carrying to make sure that we can do something like that.
Yeah, those are huge achievements. I mean, able to partner up with big companies like that as well. But mentioning what businesses that we're going to be reaching out to, we already have talked to several businesses that we have worked with in our previous business, and building a Pixel test partnership that allows us to test our POS system in their actual store, so we can test real live products and real live transactions with customers in their store before we go public with our product. So that's why the Pixel Test partnership is such an important aspect, because that allows us to test our product with real transactions in real life. So before we're able to push our product out to the masses, we have to test our systems, not just the transactions, but the security of it as well. You're talking if you're a multiple businesses around Florida or even in the United States, you're talking about multi-million dollars a year. You have to make sure that these products are secured, and that's why these testing phases with the Pixel Test Kitchen is very important of the product itself.
Yeah, those are great data to provide to investors that will eventually connect us to these business owners too as well. I mean, not business owners, like these multi-million dollar companies. So it just stacks on upon stacks that kind of giving us the leverage upon other companies coming in like, hey, use us already. I mean, they may have the connection, but we have the data to back it up.
It's the whole project sounds very exciting to me. Like I say, I'm always looking at things from the long-term perspective. So I consider it a good investment. Who does your different social media platform engagement? Like, I know that you have a Twitter, which I wish you would be a little more active on. Telegram, I'm not in your Telegram group. Do you have a moderator that's there in the Telegram group?
Yeah, that's correct. We have roughly about 5 different community members that are helping us out as moderators. So they'll help provide information if anyone's asking about, what the project is, what's a white paper, and different aspects. And we had those individuals on Discord and Telegram as well.
Okay. So guys, if you're interested in getting involved with Pixel, being an investor, I definitely recommend that you go over to Twitter. I have their Twitter down in the description box. You go to their link. It'll take you to their profile. On that profile, there's going to be a link for their link tree. The link tree is going to take you everywhere. All the different social media platforms that they're on. It's going to take you to their website. From the website, you can check out their audit report, their white paper roadmap. You can look at all the examples of the user interfaces that they have up there, take a peek at who's on the team again. And anything that you might be wanting to know about Pixel, you can find out there, or you can go to Telegram and discuss it with one of the moderators there in the Telegram group and the Discord. So it all starts, the link for Twitter is down there. And gentlemen, before we sign off here, I think it was a great AMA. I know I learned a lot about everything that's going on there. So I'm even doubly excited about the potential for the future. Any little parting words here that you would like the viewers to know?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone didn't hear it, July 1st is the live launch of our staking. and we will continue to provide more updates on our NFT marketplace. Like I said, our goal is 90 days, and we are pushing very hard. Our team is working every day, nonstop. I hope that they can get some sleep sometime. So I appreciate everybody that came on to this AMA and supports us and be able to join our Telegram, our Discord if they have any questions. Hung and I, Tanji, we're all there to answer questions, and we're very transparent about what is out there. So if you have any questions, reach out to us.
From my end, I just want to loop it back around. Yeah, me and Andrew haven't touched any salaries or any bonuses ourselves too as well. Certain people are crazy about their project where they don't take any money from it. They see the long term too as well. So that kind of tells you about our characteristic and how we kind of put our heart and soul into this. We're very passionate about this, and we want to make sure that thrives before we can thrive too as well. Tells you a little more about how we think and everything. Yeah, we're excited to put more products out, eventually giving you snippets of what we want to give out. We're looking to kind of follow on upon our promise to educate the community. So you will see some more releases from us too, from our own Pixel vision, and kind of give you more deep analysis of what we think is going to happen and how we're going to tackle things too as well. So Pixel is our baby child. Many people say about that, but you can also discover more about the team since Tammy did a great job highlighting the team here. So we have some of that stuff going on too, and a lot more stuff happening in the background that we're just very excited to give you the snippet. So that'll be on our Pixel Friday. Every single time we have something ready to release, we give you that snippet there.
Perfect. And I hope when you guys are getting further down the line with the software and everything that you're putting together, that you'll come back onto the channel and let us take a peek at it and know what's going on. Keep us updated, because I think the long-term potential is definitely there for Pixel, but I would like for you guys to keep us updated. Like I said, if I had just one thing to request as an investor, I would like a little more engagement on Twitter. Like, I think, even if it's like a good morning, just to get the name out there, because I don't see that many tweets coming off and listen, I know you guys are busy. Like, everyone's working their full-time job, and then you come home and then you're working with Pixel, but it would be great to see and I say Twitter because that's the only thing I'm on. Like, your people might be focused on Discord and Telegram. I understand that, a lot of people do go to those social media platforms, but I don't. I'm like specifically on Twitter. So if you're absent on Twitter, I'm going to notice it. So I think that would be great if you could tweet a little more. Who's in charge of the Twitter? I guess everybody is, right? Everybody's got probably a lot of different people probably.
Yeah, we got different hats on there. Yeah, exactly. So, I do appreciate that feedback. So we'll definitely take that back to the team so we can overview that as well.
Fantastic. And it was so wonderful to have you gentlemen on the channel, right, everybody? They did a great job. It was so great to have them. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you very much. You took all of the questions, you did great. You didn't seem shaken up at all. You did wonderful, and we appreciate you having on. Everyone that joined us tonight, we appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. Until next time, remember, try to only buy on those red candles, and please take care of yourself. God bless.
Bye, everybody.